Hey, welcome to Dan's Garage. You know, it's been a couple of weeks since we've produced an episode, and that's because, believe it or not, in the middle of winter, it is car show season back east. That's right, indoor car shows. I was up at Buffalo, New York, and the Buffalo Motorama folks gave me this shirt. I promised I'd wear it on camera, but it's just a little early in the day. They also gave me a really cool coffee mug as well for the Buffalo Motorama. As you can see, the people from Centerforce have been pretty busy sending couriers to my house this week, and that's because we're going to talk about clutch technology and, you know, all the things that are going on with cars today. There's stuff coming off the assembly line that's 500 to 750 horsepower, and you know that if you're excited about a car like that at all, you're going to burn out the clutch pretty quick. So Ricardo Tapetti is coming here. He is the owner of GTR High Performance there in Rancho Cucamonga, and we also have Tom Wilson coming. He is the editor-at-large for 5.0 magazine. And if you know anything about Mustangs at all, you'll know 5.0 is pretty important. So let's open the garage door and see who's here. Come on in, guys. I got a couple of stools here for you. Have a seat. It's Tom, right?
Yep, Tom Wilson.
Tom, nice to see you. Ricardo?
Yes, sir.
You made it easy for me with the name on the shirt. Thank you very much for that. So what's your problem? You couldn't figure that out? No. All right. I only have two stools, so I got to get another chair. Hang on.
Okay, you got it.
And I don't have a third stool, so I got to get the lawn chair out. And there, I think this will be good. Oh yeah, this is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
you're
this.
back down in your formula car.
Pretty good. Okay, so I'm at the child's table. Ricardo,
Yes, sir.
Centerforce was obviously very excited and sent us a bunch of different stuff. Explain what we've got here, would you?
Okay, we got 3 different samples from Centerforce. The first one here on the left is basically a Centerforce dual friction clutch system for a front wheel drive application.
Okay.
This is just an example of the Centerforce clutch disc itself that you would use in conjunction with the Centerforce specific pressure plate.
So this is sort of a standard traditional replacement clutch.
Correct, just a single disc, very common, which you'll find in most vehicles in the world.
Okay. And
And
that thing?
On the far right, that's their diad system. Basically, it's a multi-disc clutch system.
Mm-hmm.
Holds tons of power, tons of torque, less weight. Great for ultra-high performance street applications,
Okay.
or even occasional race use.
Nice. So, Tom, you see these manufacturers are coming out with faster and faster vehicles all the time.
All the time.
The Shelbys and the Camaros and the Challengers and Vets now.
Yep.
These things are have some serious horsepower to them, right?
Huge, yeah. It's 650 plus is getting to be normal.
Wow. Okay. And most of the time, people aren't racing with those cars. They're just wanting to impress the neighbors.
Sure. A lot of profiling.
All right. Well, our producer, Dan Sanchez, owns a Shelby Mustang, and it doesn't have one of these clutches.
Oh, he needs it.
Not yet.
So I'm thinking we make it Christmas for him, and we can put one of these in, but we're not going to do the install here today. So why don't we bring the car in? You can show us the stuff that you need to do.
Sure.
How many hours, you know, what's the normal rate? For
Typically,
company?
like a late model car, complete R&R, about 4 hours for an experienced technician.
Okay, so 4 hours, and if you're a home guy and you happen to own a transmission jack, you could probably do this in 4 or 6 hours.
Yeah, that would be approximately right. Add
Okay.
a little bit more time because the average do-it-yourself at home isn't going to have a lift at their facility.
Right, yeah. I ain't average. All right, let's bring the car in. It looks like Dan's put an awful lot of aftermarket stuff, or is this the stuff that you get with a Shelby?
No, these structural pieces here, these are aftermarket performance upgrades
Okay.
for better handling.
And what's the transmission that this comes with?
This Mustang GT comes with a Tremec built TR3650
So this isn't
5-speed manual.
this isn't a Shelby.
No, basically it's a Mustang GT
Okay.
that Dan has put some Shelby components on it to give it a
Okay.
nicer look.
Okay, I thought Dan had more money than that. Okay. So what's the first thing you're going to do? Obviously, this brace is going to need to come out, right?
It does help to move this to get more clearance. You don't have to. I always do when I do a clutch removal on these cars.
So walk me through step by step. What's the first thing you do?
The very first thing I would do is obviously just disconnect the battery whenever you're working with
Right.
anything.
Right.
Remove the exhaust.
Mhm.
Remove the drive shaft. You have to undo the shifter linkage mechanism, which on these cars it's all done strictly from down below. And then at that point,
Unplug things.
Disconnect all the sensors, harnesses, etc.
Mhm.
Oxygen sensors, vehicle speed sensor, etc.
Mhm.
Remove the starter, just separate that from the bell housing.
Okay.
And then at that point, you can just simply start disconnecting all the bell housings and block bolts. I believe there's 7 on the total.
So you're really going to clear this car from here right through to the Y.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so Centerforce also sent us this. So
Yes.
what's the function purpose of this tool?
This is basically an alignment tool. Basically what you do when you assemble everything behind onto the back of the crank, the flywheel, disc, pressure plate, etc.
Right.
You put this right through the center, and this ensures proper alignment so that when you put the transmission and spline it into the clutch hub,
Right.
it goes in smoothly.
Okay, let's take it down because I think it's time we break out the blue cups. I'm fulfilling my promotional obligations here. Not bad though, is it?
No, not at all.
Cool.
Something also came in this week that I wanted to show you guys, and I want your advice on it too.
Okay,
Right?
sure.
So this arrived, and I said I'd put this in the garage.
Straight up.
Look at that.
Nice. Straight down. Cool.
The lock on it and everything.
It's a lot of weather strip adhesive in that.
Wow. You've seen the garage. We have limited space. Where would you suggest I put this? Not just so that it's functional, but also so that it looks pro.
That's half of it right there.
Yeah.
That wall, above the sink, over the sides.
Well, it's definitely a wall hanger.
Yeah.
I would put it either forward in a corner or at the rear in a corner.
Guys,
Cheers.
thanks for coming. You
My
have
pleasure.
to sign the toolbox.
Of course.
All right? We'll get you doing that. Thanks for watching Dan's Garage.